of him to go with the Brute Demon Hunter first. But we'll see. I knew it was going to happen, and it's still ridiculous.
I love it.
I was forewarned.
His face. It's great. I love how he keeps a straight face and all down to business. He's lucky that like we can see ourselves when we're casting, but he probably can't see himself when he's playing. Otherwise, he might too find it incredibly funny. Anyway, enough about the Warlock deck. He's also wearing a catsuit.
Yeah. Oh wow! I hadn't even noticed.
Just
actually, look.
Is he laughing at Warlocks?
Yeah, it actually looks like a cow a little bit, to be honest, which also surprised me. But I will try not to look at his camera too much this series because I will get distracted. Let's take a look at the opening hands. lnguagehackr is a flesh giant. Still needs some time before he gets there. Monsanto, decent opening hand, honestly. Ignoring the Brute because I don't think the Brute is great. I wouldn't even mind a turn 1 philosophy here because he's very likely to play a glide on 3, potentially 4, depending on the draws. If let's say like a Rune Mythal Rod came down on 3, he probably wouldn't glide. He'd probably wait till lnguagehackr filled his hand full of cheap cards and then glided because glide actually procs the Rune Mythal Rod, and you want your opponent to get their cards cheap and then glide them away instead of gliding them into cheap stuff.
So, going exactly as you said. There's nothing to add to that part. Let's play pretty quickly because these opening turns are reasonably straightforward. Are there any other decks that regularly delay quest until turn 2?
No. I don't think so.
I mean, Priest might, who knows? We've never seen that.
Yeah.
Warrior doesn't.
It doesn't hold to the curve. I think this is the only one. He's going to go with the glide. So that would be 5 cards drawn. So if he does redraw the Brutes, they would then get reduced in cost 1, and then he could swing with the weapon as long as Persistent Peddler also wasn't drawn. And that would be the 6th draw of the turn, which would reduce the Brutes to 0. So that's why he went with the philosophy on 1, knowing he was going to glide. If he had re-hit a Brute, which you then have 3 Brutes in your deck, they would be free. So, doesn't hit a Brute, but hits about the best follow-up you can post-glide that isn't Brutes, which is just more like front-loaded draw.
Yep. Plenty of... Obviously, the deck is basically just all draw, so... The double sigil's irritating, I think.
Getting any younger.
It's because you can't plan it, you just play it and hope your hand aligns.
This is just ridiculous. lnguagehackr's wearing a cat suit. There's a parade, apparently, outside of Neil's house.
Yep, there is. It's back. Can you hear it, can you? Because I can probably sort it out.
Like a very, very faint horn of some sort. Is what I heard.
It's a load of like motorcycles and mini cars just tooting their horns and being generally happy.
Sounded like a party horn.
It is.
If I'm real honest. Okay. Yep.
It absolutely is.
We're just having all sorts of fun. Someone who's never watched competitive Hearthstone before and tunes in, and this is the match they tune into, they're like, "What am I watching?" These guys have only talked about the game for about 30% so far of this game that I've tuned into. One guy's wearing a cat suit, and apparently there's a parade and party horns behind one of the casters.
And if you're new, 30% is a lot for us. We're doing well today.
Yeah, I know. We're
on it.
That's above average. Neil, we're doing fantastic. All right, back to the game.
He's trying desperately to get into one of these Brutes. Obviously, hitting everything but. That's kind of how it works. He's got the Lion's Frenzy, which completely useless to him right now. It must be quite large, is why I brought it up. One of his actually have a little swing.
Let's do a Viper check real quick. Pretty sure there's none. There's none.
No Viper.
He could do it. I wonder what he specifically was looking for. Probably a Glide with the Sildari Studies, because having Kane and Lion's Frenzy in hand is not really what you want. Even though they're both discounted in some form or another. So I guess Star Student Selena is some disruption, but right now Monsanto is completely out of draw. He's got the Sigil for the next turn. Really needs to find Spectral Sights, Glide, what have you, in order to actually complete the quest next turn. If he does complete quest next turn, even if he doesn't get Brutes, he's completed the quest in a timely fashion. And he's disrupted enough to where Language Hacker is on decent pace for these threats, but really not that close. Flesh Giant's still pretty expensive, and he's still got 20 cards left in the deck, so he doesn't have to worry about the Baron Scavengers anytime soon.
Problem for Monsanto, though, now we're into the giant zone for Language Hacker, is that one Brute is no longer going to cut it. Two Brutes might be okay. It's, you're going to have to find a way to set up the Lion's Frenzy at some point later on to get it done, most likely, because from here on in, Language Hacker should be able to deal with Brutes, unless you get like triple Brute next turn. Obviously, that might change things a little.
Yeah, and this is one of those matchups where even if you don't hit your Brutes early, they're still good later on in the game. Whether it's to block the inevitable big threats that your opponent has on board, so you can swing the next turn again with the Lion's Frenzy, or even just have a multi-pronged attack where your opponent has to worry about Brutes and something else. Okay, Brute's okay, but this is not one of the situations where Brute is particularly... Okay, there we go.
Two Brutes.
I see.
Soul Fragment. Yeah, he can play two Brutes this turn. Can't play three, but can play two. And this is good defense to set up for the Kurtrus next turn. I would think.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because...
Oh, wait.
Hacker down to 17. Two Brutes. He's got Kane and Lion's Frenzy in hand as well.
He could. There's other plays here. He can kill the Flesh Giant on board with the Soul Shear. But then if Raised Dead is in hand, that's awkward, because then the Flesh Giant just comes back even cheaper. And you're just not playing 2 6/7s.
Yeah, I think you want the Brutes on the board. Because if Hacker, not if he misplays, but if Hacker doesn't do the things that he needs to do based on your exact hand, he can actually just lose next turn to Lion's Frenzy shenanigans, because the Kane and the Frenzy are in hand, which is weird, because you normally dump them at the earliest opportunities back into the deck. But here they are.
Yeah, he's got a clear here, but it's not fun. It's not fun. Not a fun clear.
So that's sort of what I mean. Like, he might take the sensible decision not to clear everything and lose because of it in some worlds, but he's going to be taking the clear.
Three cards that he probably didn't want to lose.
You here for the tour?
The head shakes.
Does this complete quest? It does. So Flesh Giant goes down to 3. What? Is it going to be 1 mana? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Touch.
Oh, no. It's 1 mana. There you go. There you go, audience. Flesh Giant nerf.
Yep. Which one? Oh, the most recent one.
Yeah, the most recent one. Not the first one. The second one. That Flesh Giant would be on the board. Now it's not.
Remember when Hearthstone was released? Flesh Giant cost 3 mana if you're new. It used to be a great card.
Just a scheduled nerf. Every 2 months, Flesh Giant goes up 1 mana.
That's how you know what season we're in.
Yep. Well, alright. What year is it? Flesh Giant cost 24.
2026.
That's 2 more years,
of
actually.
the... Sorry?
If it's every 2 months, that means there's 6 a year.
Uh-huh.
So it's about 2 more years until Flesh Giant costs 24.
2023.
There you go.
All right.
Maths.
Monsanto, maths it, mate. Maths it. So that keeps the double jump. Next turn, we should be able to have a large chain of draws as long as he gets the first bit right. So Language Hacker is at emergency levels here.
So what would be a good draw from the deck? Unstable Shadow Blast, I guess, would allow for a coil. It's going to put stuff in the way.
Wow.
But
Okay.
Monsanto.
He might die.
Yeah.
He will die, I imagine.
It is incredibly likely. There's 10 damage right now already.
Yeah, if you count Kane, then there's the Lion just needs to do 9 or something.
He's just going to spam emote him.
My power is limitless.
Wait a second. Is he stalled?
I mean, he can play the 2 cards, then glide. And that should be enough. It's really unlucky if he draws no more.
10, 13. He needs a little bit more. He needs a little bit more.
Yes.
This is
He'll be
13
really
damage.
unlucky.
The glide will be 17 damage. If he picks up 2 soul fragments, that's lethal. If he
Or anything
that's
there's
one, so he's 1 off.
And there's
There you go. He's got it.
And there's
3.
another.
All right.
Well, it's been fun.
And there's a 0 mana Soul Shear that he would have got as well. And Monsanto, despite being emoted by a man in a cat costume, gets it done in game number 1.
He's probably really happy he can't see Language Hacker right now because that would be incredibly intimidating. Nobody can make the correct plays through a man in a cat suit spamming emotes at you while you try and play a somewhat complicated turn of Hearthstone.
To the tune of a comedy horn.
Skegness, what a beautiful, beautiful land.
It's great. I don't know why there's a parade. It just happens to be one, and we're good with that. That's how we roll.
Yep, it's probably a parade every day. Because if you're in Skegness, you always have a reason to celebrate. All right, Language Hacker's moving over to Aggro Druid. This is the interesting deck in the lineup. I think this is a great counter queue because it plays minions. It has something on the board before turn 3 in just about every game. And that just happens to be Brute Demon Hunter's greatest weakness, is something on the board. Monsanto does have some tools to fight against it, right? The Soul Shear is a big... That is a great hand from Monsanto.
It's perfect.
Yeah, maybe the double jump, I could argue, could be better. But Sigil and Soul Shear, fantastic tools to have early on because there are some must-kill minions in the early game from Language Hacker, the big one being the Razormane Battle Guard. Look like a 3-key from Language Hacker. I like it. Just missing a 1-drop. But this is Battle Guard plus 2-mana plus a taunt into Oracle Loon plus a taunt if the Battle Guard sticks. It won't stick. But even if you just play the Loon on 3 and you're not getting immediate value from it, still good. I mean,
and the Annoyatrons are actually going to be annoying, strangely enough, even because there'll be 2 of them, because they'll get through the Loon. Because your brutes are just going to get stopped by them 4 times. 2 lots.
Yeah.
2. So that's just going to be irritating, and it's going to allow the rest of Language Hacker's board, which will be massive by that time, presumably to do a lot of beating.
So, Language Hacker 3 kept. Monsanto knows this. I don't think you can afford to get greedy here.
He 3 kept without a 1-drop.
Yeah. So
I think
that
the
third
next
card
cards-
is either Oracle or Grey Ballard Teacher's Pet, right? All of which are massive punishes for leaving this Battle Guard on the board. So, like the play there. This Oracle of Loon is not dying.
No.
The only card that could kill it would be Illidari Studies into Chaos Leech.
And we haven't mentioned that the composting has been picked up as well. So a Neutron composting is just silly.
Fantastic. Yeah. We'll want a little bit to find a little bit more power over the next few turns because Monsanto is approaching brute territory. And you do want to be able to contest it. Composting is actually great because a lot of times you can contest a brute while like refilling.
Yeah.
But Monsanto's still picking up some good stuff. Wouldn't even mind to see a coin sigil here. Could actually unload everything, right? Spirit
I think he should.
And sigil.
And his glide actually becomes a card worth playing.
Yeah.
Well, he wants to try and keep it not in outcast position, right?
Yeah, probably. The other thing is like playing a sigil the turn before you're about to glide is not a great feeling because you're drawing a card to getting a discount on it, and then
Right.
a lot of times you're gliding it away. So he's actually going to go for philosophy, which makes sense. Now he can unload 2. That's not outcast, but at least having like soul fragments in the deck to heal back up. That's additional draw as well to make brutes cheaper to be able to fit in more things on the brute turn. There's now 6 soul fragments in the deck, so
It's also about the only way he can even try and challenge the board because the deck has no other way to do it. He's got 3 attack, TJ. He can do things with this.
Arbor Up is a fantastic draw, by the way.
It really is.
And because of the Arbor Up draw, I think he can pivot from the composting.
That's an upgrade.
Because this is a ton of damage.
And yeah, he's showing his intention to win next turn by picking off the minion that would take down the brute. He has got 23 next turn. 4, 8, 10, 11, 12. No, he's got 24 next turn. So that was a lethal setup.
Well, Monsanto's at 30 again. He drew half of his soul fragments, potentially even more, because there's still 2 more draws. Oh, brute! Now he just needs philosophy off this double jump. Doesn't hit it.
Yeah, double brute would have been kind of interesting. One brute's just going to get absorbed into the army of trees.
Beautiful sequencing by Monsanto. To attack first and then draw the cards to maximize soul fragment healage.
Oh, is he going to wait? So is he going to work out he can't die to the Arbor Up because he's going to take down the 4-2? And then he can wait and it gives himself more outs to hit another philosophy.
Okay, so my argument, he doesn't die to the Arbor Up right there, but he would die to the Arbor Up at some point. So I think you just play the brute.
Probably.
I don't know.
I'd have played it, but I just wondered if he could be super greedy in that position where he was about to die. Well, none of this does anything, and he gives it up. Goes to 1 game apiece. That looked easy. I know it was a good hand, but that looked easy.
Yep. The win condition in that deck is essentially to get brutes online before the board reaches a critical mass. But lnguagehackr liked the way he played that. He knew that, like, with that 3 keep, he's just in such a good spot. Because even if Monsanto soul shears the battle guard, he still plays a nigh unkillable Oracle the next turn and already has the follow-up. And then it's just a matter of finding either the card draw or the Arbor Up or like another battle guard with Teacher's Pet, just more stats to be able to place onto the board. And brute will have a hard time dealing with that. So, I mean, that was Far Watch post list as well. Like a lot of times, Far Watch post is the ultimate bane of Brute Demon Hunter because then it just feels nearly impossible to complete quests in a timely manner or get brutes online. So, but yeah, over to the handlock.
Now this deck, TJ, has removal cards.
Oh yeah, and a lot of them.
It's a new concept. removal cards, health gain, and big minions. Very different story to take down the Druid. Obviously, allows them to pick off most of the Druid's first attack and obviously recover from that attack as well. And then the idea, hopefully, to just drop a Flesh Giant and hit you with a Battle Master back to the old days. How Handlock worked when we were kids. Last week.
Yep, because we're young, Neil.
Uh-huh.
We're both young Americans. And don't you forget it.
It's both of us. Yep, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, so this matchup can still sometimes be difficult if you don't hit Soul Rend. Just because at times it can feel like Aggro Druid has infinite reload. If you don't hit Soul Rend and it snowballs, they compost a giant board, and then even if you remove it with Soul Rend, they reload it again, and then you have to have the second Soul Rend. So
squirrels, the peasants, they can be awkward as well because the peasant's irritating. You don't really want to use removal on it. You have to. The squirrel, you can high roll the nuts coming out of the acorns coming out of the deck. Plenty of things can go right for you as the draw.
You can draw the nuts a lot of times in this deck.
Absolutely, and he's got the watch post. The only question here is, does he want to do some sort of greediness and you get 2 of them? But that's too difficult. He's not playing against brutes anymore, so he can't expect the loon to stick. So he just gets the watch post down and increases the giant from 10 to 10.
Base cost.
Yeah, it's a maximum of 10, I think, on the watch post as well. So that's unfortunate. If they hadn't nerfed the giant, it would now cost 10 in this game. Monsanto has got the rod online with the backfire. This is the thing we talk about all the time in this deck. And we have now got...
Why?
Right, for those who don't know, we now have a bug. You play the left-hand pack mule and it breaks the observer mode.
Yep. But our production team's been on point with switching super fast.
Monsanto's played the backfire, I'm pretty sure. I saw it sort of wobble around.
What?
Yeah, it's smart because it will negate the effect of the far watch post. There we go. We're back.
Well,
And everything's changed.
Reflect in the moonwell.
Hackr challenging Monsanto to have the soul rend that he hasn't got. And if he hasn't got it, next turn's Arbor up. And
He doesn't have it.
not only does he have to have it, but he has to have it not increased in cost as well. I think Hacker's impressed.
Can he survive through Arbor up? That's the question. So he goes up to 21. He can go up to 24 and remove 2 minions. So that would leave
And yeah,
8 power on
survive.
board. That would survive. That might have been a premature celebration from our feline friend over here.
yep.
Wonder if...
He's singing. He only sings when he's winning. Have you noticed?
I would too. Can he survive if he drain souls the Farwatch post?
Can he survive if he drain watch 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 plus 12, 24?
It'd be
Needs to be
10.
something else.
It would be 10 plus 10. Because he would Mortal Coil the T1. But he would survive.
It gets super difficult to remove the next board then.
Yeah, so next turn he wants to kill it before he coils. Or,
Soul Rend's not enough now because it would cost 5 and it wouldn't get rid of the Priestess or the Divine Shield minion, so... Basically, it would. It just wouldn't get rid of the Divine Shield minion.
Yeah. He's thinking about it.
So the worst that can happen to you is Soul Rend, right? If you're going with Arbor up, you do 20, put your opponent to 4. They Soul Rend, you've still got a 4/3 minion because of the Divine Shield. But there's 0 mana Mortal Coils. Yeah.
Yeah. You expect your board to be pretty much cleared if there's a Soul Rend. If there's not a Soul Rend, you kill him next turn anyway. Because you still have the Arbor up, and it's very unlikely that he would remove everything. So, yeah, this is a clear, but it would give Language Hacker a lot of draws, but it would stabilize Monsanto for now, and it also would... 5 minions would die. 6 minions now. It would activate the Buried Scavenger, which has a discount on it, so it would be free. Is there anything you can do with 1 mana? No. There's not.
Hacker dodged that, but also...
Hampson, Bristleback, Battlemaster, Touch. Okay.
Another
Battlemaster
Oracle.
and a chunk of removal burned.
You get accustomed.
Oracle, Panther over the other side are the important things.
Yep. Oh, is that a teacher's pet? Nope, second Arbor up. Okay. Not a lot of mana to work with here, but I think he can just feel free to reload with Oracle again.
Yeah, I wonder what you reload. Do you try and set up an Arbor up lethal while you can? You're not going to get many chances where Monsanto can't kill you on the backswing, so this is an important turn. You don't want to chip away at these because you expect Monsanto to make a threat every turn from here on in. So I think you want to go with like small things like Army of Squirrels or something. And so that if he kills them, maybe they come back. And you've got an Arbor up win at any point.
Yeah, then this plus Squirrel, right? That makes sense to me.
Plus, I always wanted to say Army of Squirrels. It just sounds good. So.
Okay, how much can we clean up here? A good chunk. Can we also get a Flesh Giant down? Yep.
There's a Mortal Coil. There's 7 opposing minions. We have 4 things that kill things, so we can get rid of at least 4. Five.
Okay.
Leave Language Hacker with 2 minions. That's if you're okay. This is fine.
So, tap. I didn't see quest completion, but I don't think he's close to the second one. Tap would bring Fresh Giant down to 4. Bristleback would bring it down to 3. Touch would bring it down to 2. So he can't tap Bristleback. Touch. Oh no, the left one he can. Yeah. All right. And I like getting a tour guide on board too. The tour guide, tap, Bristleback, touch, Cheap Giant.
Yep. That would definitely work.
Okay, no, he wants to remove Battle Guard and the Battle Master. Or Oracle and a Battle Master. I actually like this a lot, to be honest.
I mean, it looks safe through a likely Arbor up, the way that Language Hacker went for it early.
Yep. Alright, so what's the cleanest way to do this? It would be...
What?
Bone Chewer. Actually, maybe a Neurotron's better
Panther
in that
looks
situation.
strong.
Yeah, but then he can't Arbor up. I think he wants to get an Arbor up out this turn.
I don't know. Can he Panther and leave himself with a range of minions that can't be removed? And then Arbor up for the victory next turn. You want to do this, though. This is your play.
Yeah. Brawler, Arbor up, and then Adorable Infestation. Does that make anything cleaner?
Infestation?
What a draw! Ooh, hero power. Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Now the board is now removed.
For lethal?
So Ray's dead pool now is only Scavenger and Panther. Is that correct? I don't think he played a minion.
Chilling in there somewhere?
Oh, Bristleback. Yeah, Bristleback too. So that's pretty good.
There it is.
So this is 100% Giants are free this turn. There's no Battle Master in the deck that was discarded from the Soul Rend. You have to keep that in mind. So the damage on board is the damage on board.
That is my correction.
Gonna take the draw from the Blood Mage first.
How long till we see Defender of Arcus? I ask it every week.
Pretty expensive.
I know. I'm pretty sure if it was good, somebody would have done it by now. But I'm still going to ask it every week, because that's what I'm like.
You get accustomed to
Okay,
it.
still not enough mana for Park Panther Arbor up. Which means there is not lethal present.
Right, this infestation. Does that do anything? No, it doesn't.
A Noyotron Peasant plus Arbor up. You trade in the Squirrel to the 6/6. You might have to value trade over the Bristleback in that case. And then you push the remaining 6 to face. You might have to trade over the... you have to trade over the Tour Guide too to not pop the Divine Shield on the Anoyotron. That doesn't feel good. There's still a Soul Rend in the deck. Actually, I think there's no Battle Master in the deck.
Gone?
It was burned. Yeah.
I'm looking at the thing that doesn't work on this deck again. I'm a bad person.
It doesn't work when the Mule is played. It breaks everything.
Still learning. That one thing I am actually still learning. Right. Well, you don't have many choices here.
Okay, so he's not going to go Peasant. Okay.
Interesting that he chose to keep one Squirrel on board, by the way. He could have got to both a while ago. Which might have made a difference with the Acorns, like joking aside. Oof.
Oh, no.
Oof.
The Soul Rend.
Can he win if he plays it, though? He can't, can he? Yeah, he can.
Oh, he certainly can. I have no idea what the last 3 cards are because the deck tracker is broken.
That's the problem.
Is there a Tour Guide in there somewhere? I don't think that was burned. Is there another Scavenger in there somewhere? Maybe. Rod was burned. I know that. Battle Master was burned. I know that. And a Drain Soul was burned. I'm pretty sure.
Is it Penry, the mild-mannered janitor? We'll find out. He's obviously trying to hit something.
So, the thing about you're right about can he win if Soul Rend comes out, because it would weaken his Giants enough, and he'd have to trade one over. He just would be left with a Panthera on board, and Park Panther would clear it up. Okay, so it wasn't.
And obviously a quest, yeah.
Yeah. So we'd have to get the quest online with very little draw left. So Language Hacker, even though okay. Language Hacker's looking at the tracker right now saying, okay, what are the last 3 cards? Monsanto still has to deal 5 damage to himself, so he's effectively at 18.
Panthera takes care of that pretty quick.
Yes, it does. And he's only at 8. He can't face tank these. He could face tank 1 with a hero power. But then, and he's out of Arbor ups.
But he has Peasant, and he has a lot of Acorns.
True, but you need to draw them all, and then you're still looking at 2 turns until they kill you.
Just
And you
pretend
also-
you're a rogue.
So Peasant, Park Panther, Hero. Oh, he's going to double. Oh, okay. He's going to save himself. Oh, this is cool. So this is less power on board, but the Peasant sticks, and then he does have to hope that he draws a bunch of acorns. Because I don't think a single card off the top is going to put enough of a clock on
Great.
Monsanto. He will be able to get
Grey
Tamsin
Bow.
down this turn.
Teacher's
That's
pet, yeah,
one.
that's too slow.
Tap. That's quest complete. And then he plays it, and then Pantharo, yeah, he's dead next turn. He doesn't have enough.
Stormwind, so share my pain.
I don't think there's anything he can get now either.
Yeah, so that's 3. Next turn, he's dead. So, yeah, that's it.
This is where the 8 acorns just all come off the top, one after the other, just to annoy him.
Barking up the wrong tree.
Oh, he's going to play it out, but just the life tap will get there for Monsanto in the end. Because it'll be 2 plus 4 fatigue, that'll be 6. I mean, no, it'll be 4 fatigue, then life tap for 2, then 5 fatigue. So it's 11.
I concede.
It's more than 6.
Certainly
He won, and he
more than-
celebrated twice during that game and still didn't win it. How
Yeah,
many times does he need to celebrate to actually win the game? Because now he's in trouble.
yeah. I really like the fact that Monsanto did not overreact to the Farwatch pose, knowing that he had Rod in hand. He still just jammed double backfire into it, knowing that he just needed to find Soul Rend, no matter what the cost, in both health and mana. So, found it, and that was the turning point in the game. Argument could be made if the first Arbor Up should have been used there to make it a little bit harder for Monsanto, or just put him at a lower health threshold, so maybe he has to play differently. But I think it's the correct play, because it's very likely that regardless if you put him to 13 or 4, if he Soul Rends there and he's at 4 life, but you have no cards in hand, how do you win, right?
Yep.
So he's saying, well, if you don't have Soul Rend, I win no matter what, because I just Arbor Up next turn and deal the amount of damage. If I don't Composting here and use Soul Rend, I have no cards in hand, so I probably don't win. So that was his best chance of winning to have a reload. So, hard agree.
A hard deck to play, this Druid. I've put quite a lot of time into it and still struggle with some of the more complicated turns in terms of ordering, and you really need to know the meta game well, your opponent's deck well, all that stuff to be able to play the deck, to make those decisions.
You have the tools available to you to play around a wide range of removal, and you have to play around it near perfectly in order to take wins sometimes. So, I'd say that was a reasonable draw from lnguagehackr, right?
Yes.
He didn't hit the ultimate combo of like the Oracle, Battle Guard, Teacher's Pet / Greybow. Greyball.
Great booth.
Yep, whatever you want to call it.
And the important thing now, though, is everybody's favourite. It's Brute time.
Brutes.
I love how American cheers always sounds like boo, no matter what they do or say.
Yep.
As Americans cheering like that, amazing. So never gets old. Monsanto, not a lot he can do early on. Just be sensible, advance quest, draw cards, do the handlock things, and hope they don't have brutes.
I mean, there's not really a... Okay, never mind. There is only one better feeling than playing Quest on 1, tapping on 2 as Quest Warlock, and that is playing a Brute.
They will never catch me.
I've been casting with you for the entirety of this metagame. I still have no idea whether you like brutes or not. I could even ask you, and I still wouldn't know, no matter which answer you gave.
Mistakes were made.
I love and hate Brutes simultaneously.
Right, that explains everything. It does. I actually understand.
Oh my...
Wow!
Oh, it's so... Yeah, that's good.
Gonna need it, because Hacker's got the glide in the glide position.
Question is, do you coin Tour Guide? Because you have another Tour Guide.
How suspicious has the play been on the other side? Pretty suspicious. Yeah, we do it.
It's just efficient. right?
Yep.
Because the argument would be he would give over, he would let Language Hacker trade away the Mortal Coil targets. But he's got the second tour guide in hand for another Mortal Coil target.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Looking
That's
for
not
a
what you
brute.
want.
Oh, that's a brute.
It is what you want. Take it back.
There's only one brute, though. Meh.
You can have a brute though. Against a glided hand, so it's not a curated hand, which means that this Shadow Blast is going to upset him with a 0-cost Mortal Coil.
The full clear.
Actually, amazing. Yeah, it is.
He's popping off.
He's going for it. What's he going to The Mortal Coil's next to see what he gets, right? Yeah. And he probably keeps back the Drain Soul because he doesn't need to kill a 1-1. But now he's drawn it, he can just do it anyway. Yeah, sure.
Just gain the health, you know?
Want to keep the Drain Soul so you've got something to put onto a Brute.
Ooh. Just jam the Librarian to deny the draw. He can, so that's 2 draws. He can actually jam the Librarian and still complete quest. You play Librarian, then you attack into the Blood Mage Thalnos, which draws your 3rd card of the turn, which is the Peddler. Then you Spectral Sight with your last remaining mana, which completes the quest. Not efficient because you're reducing the Peddler's cost in hand, which is wasteful.
I see.
This gives him the option to do it still. I don't even know if it's a good play. Like,
I have the feeling
Sorry,
I'm
it's
like
not.
behind you. Can you just talk for a moment? You'll talk about things I haven't seen yet.
oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Only be a second.
Man, I can talk for days until someone tells me to talk.
Okay, I'm back. We're good. And yeah, I was like 5 seconds behind. That's why.
Like,
Yeah,
if
I'm
you
always
hadn't
5
said
seconds
anything,
behind.
I would have just kept talking. But the fact that you told me to talk,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't really want to talk anymore. Okay. This is
Right,
good.
we're good anyway.
Good turn from Language Hacker. He actually completed two quest lines in the same turn. Very nice. Gets Kirchhoff down next turn. Who needs brutes anymore? Monsanto's only got 3 cards left in his hand. He's struggling. He's just gonna play a 6/6.
He's not.
No, he's not.
He's changed his mind. I think he realised that if you play that 6/6, you're just doomed to never do anything for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Because it's not getting there on its own, and 1 card a turn, you're going to be too far behind. Language Hacker's going to have... Even Language Hacker can kill a 6/6.
Ooh, second sigil picked up. Great draw to pair with the turn that you're actually playing the Kurtrus, because that'll draw a double discounted thing next turn. It's also just a card that you don't really want to draw post Kurtrus, because usually you're trying to kill your opponent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good way to set up for a kill next turn as well. More soul fragments in the deck. Let me do a quick soul fragment check. There's only actually 2. He's drawn the other ones already.
I mean, he can kill this, but it's not fun. Oh, now he can kill it, and it is fun. That's fine.
Yeah, but I think you trade first because you want more cards. Yeah. Yep. Oh, now it's not fun anymore.
No. God, he's still on 16. Those glides really mess you up.
Yeah, you can't do that. Monsanto's about to play the Tamsin, but if you play a free Drain Soul, you actually don't get anything back.
Yeah. That wasn't going to work. Monsanto last season, maybe. Just maybe, if he had a bad day, could have done that. Monsanto this season, none of that. Brutes.
I honestly think you just play 3 brutes here and stop. You draw a single card, and then you double philosophy and play 3 brutes.
And you're stopping to give yourself maximum chance of the weapon doing maximum damage, right?
Oh, okay. Well, he picked up the weapon, so now he...
Now he does everything, yeah.
Okay, there's no Viper. He's fine.
Yep, he just gets an extra 10 or 15 or something damage this way.
Yep. And gets the brutes down.
But the idea for stopping was you don't have the weapon at the time you said that, so you stop so you don't waste cards, right?
Yeah, let's say you can't actually draw enough cards to play the weapon, which actually at this point 7 mana, like you can draw your deck without needing Kane. Let me add that caveat. Without needing Kane, if you need Kane, I would stop. Like, let's say there was a taunt minion on board, and you need to attack your taunt minion, then you would need to stop. But this is just a lot of damage, a lot of brutes on board. This is a dub, no matter which way you go about it. Even if Monsanto could magically clear these brutes, which there would be a way if he drew Soul Rend off the top, he could go Tamsin, Soul Rend, Soul Rend. There would only need. What is this? It's stopping at 96 more damage. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got that in hand with librarians and peddlers.
Yep.
Your move, Monsanto. Your move. That's it. Tour guide will get him. Send him to the wrong town.
It still costs 3. Oh, jeez. All right. Game 5 we go. Monsanto's last deck is his own Aggro Druid. So now we're going to get to see this matchup from the other side. I would say that Monsanto is a favorite here, but let's be real. We're talking about Brute Demon Hunter. When you go into any matchup that includes Brute Demon Hunter, nobody's a favorite.
Everybody loses when Brutes.
Everybody loses. That's right. Either you win the expected matchup that you're supposed to win, or you lose because you got Bruted on 3. Those are the only 2 outcomes.
Yeah?
And in that case, everybody loses.
When Brutes win, everybody loses. That's definitely the phrase for the day. Okay, Monsanto, we've looked at this Druid already, but worth noting, this has taken out a lot of the nature spells. It's taken out basically the toads, so there's no toad on 2. And it's a bit more robust with the Argent Squires and with the Annoyatrons. Just gives it some targets that might survive into Arbor Upland, basically, for the final points of damage.
Yep.
Outside of that, there's the Watch Posts. That's a big deal against a lot of decks, especially against Brutes, because you Watch Post the Brutes, it slows them right down, really painfully. So this is a really good hand. We've seen this exact hand earlier today, but in a different matchup. Actually, it was the same matchup. I'm lying.
It was the same exact matchup, and LnguageHackr has a very similar hand to what
Monsanto had the Soul Shear. Yep.
All right. He actually did draw a battle card off the top 2. If the next card is a Annoyatron, something's wrong.
If LnguageHackr loses this game, will he complain about how unlucky he was because Monsanto got a good draw? That's what I want to know.
No, because this is...
No, I'm not saying was he unlucky. I'm saying would he complain about it? Anyway.
Ooh, okay. Putting something powerful in play. This is cool.
Yeah, he can actually take down a 3 health minion next turn, or 4 health minion next turn, in fact, without using his precious Soul Shear. Nice.
This would also be a setup to... Oh, no, you can't. You got to use the Soul Shear. You can't leave that Battle Guard up.
No.
Because then, if you leave the Battle Guard up and kill the Bone Shard Roar, then Monsanto can go Oracle plus more taunts, and then you never kill the Battle Guard. You'd have to Soul Shear it next turn anyway.
What?
Card off the top. Oh, those are 3 5s! Oh my goodness! But Monsanto can play.
Ow.
No, he can't. He can play double teacher spin next turn. Hey!
Well, as it stands.
Well, no matter what.
Is it no matter what?
Yeah, the Oracle's already on the board. Just plays a Battle Guard and then plays a Teacher's Pet. The Battle Guard costs 2, the Teacher's Pet will cost 1.
Demons.
Yeah. Because you have to. Yeah. I'm going crazy.
The Oracle's already on the board.
Yep, the Oracle's not going to be removed, so.
He's already completed that step of the process.
Yep, I very rarely actually start a turn with an Oracle though. So yeah, the 2 Battle Guards. Doubling, reducing Teacher's Pet to 1. Down, it costs less than 2, so you get 2 of them. And Language Hacker with what must be about the best possible start outside of double brute or triple brute is getting duffed up.
Yeah. Yep. I like the protect the Oracle from something randomly generated from an Illidari studies. I protect it from an I-beam. Doesn't protect it from a Chaos Leech, but if Language Hacker goes Illidari studies Chaos Leech, spends 3 of his mana to kill just the Oracle. What are you gonna do?
What else can he do though?
Yeah.
He can't do anything.
And there's just 2 Muklos inside of these Teacher's Pets. We all know. We're
Really?
all aware.
Is that where we are today? Muklaville.
Oh, there's a Mukla. Right there.
That'll do.
Yep, that is a...
This was
4/2
played.
That's a 4/2 stealth Mukla.
This was just played in Hearthstone like a few weeks ago.
Now,
Back when Paladin was a deck.
Yeah. Now you all... Ooh, I guess composing, you can just composing next turn, because... What is Language Hacker going to do? Clear your board?
Oh my. Yeah, I mean, just... do it.
I mean, the bright side for Language Hacker in this series, after losing 3 games, he still has 6 more lives.
That's an upgrade. Probably.
It's a good call.
So, you know.
Is Monsanto trying to kill him with like the maximum number of cats?
Wait, that's not lethal, is it? They would just okay, no. I was like, whew.
There's a panther, and there's another panther, different sort of panther. One lives in a park, one lives in a jungle.
All right. Illidari studies needs to get can't even get more than 2 brutes down because the double philosophy was used already. It needs to hit draw plus all of the soul fragments.
Grow impatient.
And then set up lethal for the turn after.
Yeah. The question is
7-point weapon.
okay, hit spectral sight.
I see.
That needed to happen. Now a lot of other things need to happen right now.
That's not them yet, but
That's another draw though.
okay.
It'll reduce the double jump as well.
Not interested yet, but I'm still listening to you.
Pleasure doing business.
It's hit.
Might get
draw
interested.
again. Illidari study, spectral sight again. Nope. Crimson
Might be.
Sigil Runner.
Time grows short.
I-beam doesn't get anywhere close.
Okay.
Runner.
Still going.
Sigil Runner. That'll reduce whatever's drawn. Nope. Language Hacker died.
For now.
There it is. Monsanto takes the series. And gotta feel a little bit bittersweet for him. I know that. Because I know that obviously he's good friends with Language Hacker. They practice together week after week. They settled on this lineup together. Just the fact that they had to play each other in the quarterfinals, they would have much preferred to play each other later if they were both making it through. Because if you build this lineup that's supposedly good against the field, and you don't get to show it off because you just play against the guy who brought the same lineup as you,
Right.
it just makes that feeling not great, whether you win or lose. But someone had to win and someone had to lose, and in this situation just happens to be Monsanto.
Yeah.
And Language Hacker also kind of needed the points a little bit more on Monsanto. Monsanto's already pretty high up there in the standings.
I was going to make that point as well. Arguably, I think Language Hacker, he's not in danger of relegation yet. He could get relegated, but he's doing okay. But Monsanto's doing really well, having already won a week. So, you know, he doesn't need the points as such, but you always need the points. We saw what happens if you don't try and pick up every single point last season, you know? But, yeah, like you say, bittersweet, but he does move on, and I'm looking forward to that semi-final tomorrow.